I'm JD with the Nerdery, and I'm here with Jason David Frank, and I'm going to try real hard not to go full fanboy on this, because I've been looking forward to meeting you, like, since I was a little kid.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank
and,
you.
I want to ask this question. Has it been hard to stay humble with the amount of fan base you've gotten?
Man, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that question. It's a lot harder to try to stay humble and grounded than it is to rise to the top. You know, it's like when the water boils, it's like the bubbles automatically go to top. I'm the bubble that's trying to grab to the bottom because that's where I want to be. I don't want to rise to the top. When you rise to the top, you don't see anything. You just, you're better than everyone else. You have this attitude of, well, the fans owe me. I want to feel like I want to owe the fans. And I do so many things around the world because I want to do it. When someone comes to the booth and they don't have money, I don't really care. Is the purpose of taking a picture and Instagram and making them happy? I have a pretty good, clean reputation, so I watch it pretty hard, and I want to make sure that when someone meets their hero, that you don't walk away going, oh, that was my hero I looked up to when I was 4 years old, So it's hard, man. It's hard, but I'm doing it, and I just have to remember every day, do the day as best I can, 110%. I'm no better than anyone else. All the Rangers out there, you still got to put your suit on one leg at a time, and so do I, because I know how to do it. You can't just morph. That's the movies. But that's what I try to do, and I try to stay. And I moved to a town called Humble, honestly, because I thought it was cool. My slogan was going to be, come get humbled at Rising Sun Karate Humble. That's what I wanted to do, All the people are like, I'm a black belt. Well, come get humbled, son. Come get humbled. But anyway.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I've been following you on Twitter and on Instagram for quite a while, and you really seem to be a huge fan of your fans.
Yeah, I am, man.
And, as a huge fan, like I said, I've been a fan of yours since elementary school. That is incredibly humbling for us.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say thank you on behalf, because I know all of our fans are fans of yours.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate that, man.
On behalf of all our fans, all our watchers and our listeners, I want to thank you personally for that.
Thank you.
And, there's something that actually came out on YouTube not all that long ago. And it's actually unofficial. It was a bootleg. And it was actually titled as a reboot for MMPR. And you were actually very against it. And it actually took a lot of digging for me to find out why. And I loved your reason why.
Yeah.
And I was wanting to know if you would share that with our watchers.
Well, first of all, it never gets old for people to come up and say, hey, you are my hero, or hey, you changed my life. And I think for me, it's great, because honestly, I can't get through this stuff without blessing people. I can't do it. It ain't about the money, this is a hobby of mine that turned like full blown into not a job. I still try to keep it as a hobby. When I do these shows, I don't take appearances like everyone else. And I'm telling you what, because of that reason, and because if you want to get something cool, if you don't, I still take care of people. So never be afraid to come up and say, hey, I know you heard this a lot. You're my hero, because that's what feeds me. If I can't get fed that and fed the blessings, I cannot survive this, man. I look at where I'm at and I'm like, how am I even there? And I came from Orlando, and it's the blessings. That's the first thing. Second thing is, in regards to the reboot unofficial movie, there was no movie in the works. Lionsgate, nothing was in the works, and these guys wanted to say, hey, there's a fan base here. They called me and asked me if I can do the movie, and I was like, I really want to do Saban-approved things. And when they asked me to do it, they said it needs to be bloody, it needs to be gory, and I know who he was. And don't hate me because of this. I maybe work with you one day, but I see it everywhere. I'm not slamming your work or anything. I'm just saying in general what it's like to be a Power Ranger. I said, no, I can't do it, the blood, no, I can't do it because the drugs and all this stuff. It comes down to the simple thing of this. When I used to do martial arts, my instructor would say, hey man, do you think tattoos will get you students? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think someone's going to sign up and say, hey man, I like your tattoos. But can your tattoos lose a student? Yes. They can come in and go, oh man, this guy's got tattoos, he's not a role model. When I heard that philosophy, it's the same thing of a movie. Have you ever gone in the movie and walked out in a nice, really good movie and said, oh, I really wish they said the F word? No. But have you walked out of a movie and said, God, that was like so many F-bombs, and it was this and that? And yeah, and the simple point is you don't need that kind of stuff. It's not forgotten. This is on Nickelodeon. If it was a forgotten brand and all the fan base now, your age, if all the little kids didn't know what that was, then it's okay to do something like that. But now that the kids are doing it in Nickelodeon, guess what's going to happen when a kid Googles Power Rangers? They're going to watch that movie. And I can't watch that movie with my daughter because it doesn't need all that stuff. Now as a filmmaker, they did really good as a filmmaker. I respect art and filmmaking, but not that storyline. It's just too gory. I've heard a lot of fans that were like, oh yeah, this is great, and then a lot of fans that didn't like it. A lot of fans that crushed your dreams. A lot of fans that do like it, but the fans that do like it, we can't be greedy. We have to remember the kids. You can't be greedy and say, oh, this is for me. It's for the kids. Too bad. Suck it up, because I've been on a kids show for 22 years, and I still am. And I had to sacrifice lots of things, so you too need to sacrifice it. But I will tell you this, in regards to the Power Ranger movie, anywhere from $120 million to $160 million in this movie, you're all going to be very shocked and be pleased with the way that movie's going and stuff. I'm telling you, I promise you that. The movie's going to come out next year. Again, the script's confidential. Everything's like, I don't even know what's happening. I have to watch it in March of 2017, and I'm excited to watch it. But that's it. It's a good surprise for everybody. The movie, nobody knows anything, and that's the way it needs to be.
Well, there you have it. Y'all guys wanted those answers. I want to ask you one more question. We ask everybody this question. What is your definition of a nerd?
Definition of a nerd? Man, I was a big comic book fan. I used to collect X-Men, and I got teased a lot in junior high school for wearing a Wolverine shirt. Because I got teased a lot wearing a Wolverine shirt, I learned how to fight, all right? And I'm just telling you, maybe people used to call me a nerd, so in my head, they say this is the conventions for nerds, but hey, toys, comics, all the other shows, if you could live here every single day, life would be easier. But unfortunately, we can't. So I guess I was a nerd maybe at one point.
So I guess we're both nerds.
Yeah, I guess.
And I've watched your fights, man. You don't want to fight this guy. Incredible.
Thank you, man.
But thank you so much for taking the time.
Let me tell you this, my whole comic book collection that I collected as a little kid, I collected comic books. I had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollar books and comics. I sold that comic book collection to open my first martial arts school, and now it's in full circle. I can buy any comic that I want, although I wouldn't, because those prices of my comic books, sky high. And I bought them for like 60 cents. Yeah, when comics were that cheap, that's right. And ice cream, 25 cents, boom.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.